realistic perspective than the moves we made, what we think about the market. Again, this is not financial advice. This is mainly for clients to give them an idea of the moves we made and why we made the moves. So if you recall last Friday was an ugly close. So we were being very cautious, and we basically put out this chart to say, hey, if we continue to go lower, here's the levels I'm watching. Well, Sunday night, if you recall, Monday was off, which I was very thankful for. I don't think that hurt anything for the market to calm down a little bit. So ugly close Friday. Sunday night futures, we went as low as, I believe, 37.40, which is right around this 37.50 level. It bounced. Monday consolidated pretty well and went higher. And Tuesday, Wednesday, really big moves for the index. We started to chill out a little bit toward the latter part of the week. Not a bad thing. And Friday, toward the close, sold off similar to last week. So not a big move down, but as you can see, this was basically a little bit positive with some time left at the close. But this quickly sold off near the last 15 minutes. So I actually bought some at the close, a few names. So here's the deal. Here's what we're seeing. Are there warning signs? Yes, there are. I mean, there's definitely some euphoria in select areas, but there are opportunities. And as long as there are good setups, quality opportunities, I'm going to play them. So I added into names such as Pinterest, Square, CHWY, Snap, Plan, Team, Starbucks, IWM, which is a Russell 2000, because the Russell 2000 actually struggled this week. So we had some solar names, and so I actually added some NVIDIA as well. So in short, there are opportunities. I understand things like this. I see the concerns to say, hey, usually after an inauguration, there is a period of ugliness, 3 to 5%. It's not a fun period, but I mean, that happens every year. We're going to see that every year. I'm going to try to prevent that, which I'm not taking a ton of risk. As I told you last week, I was going to, every day that we go up, trim some. So by Thursday, we were down less than 60% invested. And so I viewed that dip on Friday, which has been kind of a reoccurring theme if you haven't noticed. Friday, for some reason, sells off, and early on it was ugly. And so we added actually at the close because it held up pretty well, and bought some names because I truthfully needed to add some names to add some better diversification. I didn't have a lot of banks. I did not have a lot of small caps. So on this weakness in those areas, I did choose to add some there, and we'll show you some of those names and why we chose them. But another chart, you can see the COVID case count. I'm hoping this is near a top here, and that's basically what this is pointing out to. It's not pretty. I mean, I'm seeing, at least in Ohio, it's definitely, case count is not exactly ideal, but hopefully we get through this, and I think we will. So just kind of giving some perspective there. This is kind of interesting. Again, history means nothing, but it often tends to rhyme. So I'm very well aware of this, but as long as there are opportunities, again, this is just the index. This is 500 companies. I usually own about 30. Okay, so I'm selectively choosing names that I think will outperform the market. And the fact that we were able to beat the market this week with less than, on average, 70% invested, that's good trading. Okay, so it was a good week for us. You can see February, since 1950 has been a down month. The last 20 years, down month. The last 10 years, a pretty good month. And the post-election year, it tends to be the weakest. Why do you think that is, common sense-wise? Probably because policy change, just some fear in the market. And also, it's headed right into big earnings season. I mean, we had, as you can see here, we had a lot of banks report last week. Here was the big telltale, and we were actually well positioned for this. I actually owned a little bit of Netflix, sold into it, which was a nice gain. But this, in short, a good report here got large cap growth really going. So the Amazons, Facebooks, Netflix, obviously, Google, Apple, a lot of those names. And we actually owned quite a few. I mean, if we look at some of these opportunities here, like an Apple had a great week. It was due APL. Sorry about that. That's a great week. I mean, that from, let's call it 127 to 139, that's a great week. And so it's still not overbought. A lot of people thought these names might be out of favor, and they were for a while. I mean, it's been going sideways for months, but I actually like these setups for a more midterm setup. I am okay if they don't go up right away. It did require some patience in some of these names, like a Microsoft, MSFT. This also had a very, very strong week. Earnings coming up again. So sideways, again, it's a choppy one, but it's still not overbought. Now, it's getting to an RSI where it often tends to turn, but it might have a little more leg, so I kept it on. So there are opportunities, like even in a Facebook, did quite well this week after an ugly couple of weeks early in 2021. Touched the 200-day moving average, bounced. That's a nice move. Fortunately, was able on this turn to get into some. So worked out pretty well for us. Great week. The point being is the next week coming up, as you can see, it's going to be busy with AMD, Microsoft, Starbucks, Apple. Some big names. So you can see where there could be some consolidation or even some downside because there has been some rally into these. So I tend to, after big moves, take some off into earnings. Like the risk reward is not great there, but I will keep some on. Again, I believe right now, collectively across accounts, we're about 73% invested and doing well with that positioning. So I want some dry powder in case something stupid happens, but I want to take advantage of the potential gap up. So just want to show you that we're well aware of the concerns. We see them. We know that end of January to February tend to be weak months, but the average decline every year is going to be between 5 and 10%. That usually happens. We usually see 5% dips in a year. I've said that over and over. So hang in there. I think it's going to be a great year, but it's going to come with some punches at times. That's normal. You should expect that, and that's why I have some dry powder in case, or some cash on the sidelines in case we do go lower. So I'm well aware. I'm going to skip a lot of charts that I have in here just to kind of give you perspective. The put call ratio is still in a very complacent mode. I see that. Sorry about this. McClellan Index is really what I wanted to kind of hone in on, but I'll show this chart first, which is net asset managers, active asset managers position. So they have over 100% position, meaning they're going in margin. So it's not great risk reward here, but there are opportunities. It can go higher. It can remain here. But it's just a warning flag, and I'm well aware of it. What else did I want to show? The McClellan Index. This is not the clearest chart. This one's a little bit better. As you can see, it did cross the 10-day moving average, which isn't ideal. So it went sideways this week. So despite it being a pretty strong week performance-wise, breadth was kind of average, not great, which was very interesting. So it's kind of living proof. If large cap growth wants to get going again, it doesn't need much to help it. It did. It had other things help it. But the point being is those take up such a big weight in the indexes. If they move, large cap moves, watch out. And that kind of happened this week. So the VIX had a nice move down this week, but it on Friday, toward the end, the last 15 minutes, did get a little bit fear, which happened last Friday as well. So I'm playing a gap up. I'm hoping, again, most of the moves happen after market hours. So I want to play that. Again, some names that I added were CHWY, It's a good setup. It was a nice close, actually. We got close to the 20-day and a nice move up toward the end. I like this setup when pins. Doesn't mean it works, but it's a good setup. Nice sideways move for a while. Going sideways, hoping for another breakout. It makes the RSI calm down a little bit. So after a move like this gap up, it needs to consolidate. And so now after some time, I don't hate this setup at all. I actually owned it before, during this, and I actually want to own it a bit longer. I actually added to the position. SQ Square, just in my opinion, good risk reward at these levels. Hoping for a turn here, just like it was a good day, but I wanted to buy it, hoping for another move higher on Monday. So Snap, a down day for Snap, but it's still in trend. A little freeze action there. So as you can see, it was a down day. I'm hoping that this tests the 10-day and moves up. Very good strength. It's just a good risk reward play for me in my style. So Starbucks reports soon. It's had a nice move, but it is calming down a little bit. I don't mind this consolidation. It's more of a diversifier for me. JKS, solar name, sideways move, hoping that this has a chance. It's in the right sector. Again, the sector is made a killing. Anytime it touches the 20-day, it seems like it just explodes higher. So it's hard to ignore that. IWM, the Russell 2000. I just did not have a lot of exposure here, so I wanted to add here. So on this nice dip, it was a nice close for this. So I think there probably will be a rotation there. KCE, again, another area that I just need to add some exposure here. We had a nice rotation into large cap growth last week. Maybe those take a breather, or maybe we all rally together. But I'm hoping that this little dip here is buyable, and I did buy it. So I'm hoping that it goes well. I also added to NVIDIA. Hopefully this has a nice continues. Again, nice sideways move. Nice move this week. It just added to the position into weakness on Friday. Hoping for some more move higher. So it was a great week for us. We're managing risk well. Hopefully some of the names that we added into close work out for us. Also added plan, as you can see here. Nice consolidation. Also added team. Hopefully that this continues higher. A nice little cup formation. What else did we add? CELH. Again, kind of a diversifier for us. It's had great strength. This was crazy overbought, but do believe it has still has strength in the market. That's impressive. A scooter of 98. Test a 10-day. Hopefully that this continues higher. So if it doesn't, I'm not going to give it much time. I'll probably get out of it pretty quick. But thanks for your trust. As you can see, there are concerns. Well aware of them, but we are managing risk well and making sure if we get like 5 straight days of up, I'm going to back off risk. Oh, a big winner for us this week. PLTR, and I have been trimming and do have still a position. This was a 1-day return. It took some patience. It's been flagging for a long time. Not fun. But it did finally break out and had some nice gains in this. I have a little position left in case it does want to go higher. Want to see what happens at this level. So thanks for your trust. Have a great weekend. I did a video before this. It didn't record properly, so my eyes are a little bit weak. So it is 6:23, started at 5. So appreciate your trust. Let me know if you have questions. Hang in there. Ignore the news. Ignore the politics. Price action still remains good. Key levels are being bought. That is the summary. Thanks, you guys.